Not to fear, we have a solution. A show where you can learn the art of dispute. Filmed under the glorious technicolor of rainbows and rifles, with a cast of teddy bears armed with switchblades. Where both the opinions and the adult beverages are strong. Tune in, turn on, and comment your giddy hearts out. We're going live in
3, 2, 1, action!
Welcome to the Art of Dispute, the only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. Right, Chris?
That's right. Friend and offended, we call it the zero to Nazi effect, where you're online, you got your opinion out, and one person comes on there and says, I disagree, I'm about to go burn down your car because you have an opinion.
You can't have an opinion. It
Not
can't
allowed.
be different than mine. What? How dare you? Yes, that's how we roll in America today. The lighter and the, flipping of cars and breaking of windows is just how we disagree. Accept it. It's the way it is. In fact, I'm kind of offended if you don't like that. So there you go. That's how it is. Well, we have a hot topic, a fun topic for today. Fun. There's a great adjective for this.
I even forget what the topic was now. Just talking about so many topics.
We talk about a lot of topics before the show because the guests don't get to know what the topic is. That's part of the fun of the show. So, if we sound particularly stupid on a subject, it's because none of us knew what the heck we were talking about before we got here. So there you go. It's all good, right? So we are talking about today the idea of racism. And can anyone of any color be a racist? It's a very, recent thing here, being taught in colleges and that sort of thing, that unless you're white or in a position of power, you can't be racist. That's a new thought. And so some of our panelists may have this viewpoint. We're going to find out. You guys have been discussing it in our group page, which you definitely want to follow, the Art of Dispute group page. Over 6,000 members, over 15,000 comments a month on Facebook. Yeah, we got the link happening below us right now on the screen. I know because I will put it there later. And you will want to join in on the group and get in on that action because it is really a phenomenal group. We've got a lot of great people. This show happens 24/7, 7 days a week. Thousands upon thousands of comments from really great people, and Dia's in the group, and I'm in the group, and Chris is in the group, and I don't know, y'all are in the group? Y'all should be in the group. Get in the group. Get in the group. Get out your phones right now. Before we dive into the topic, though, we are always going to give our guests the time to shine here and let us know who they are, what they're up to, share a little bit about them. Give us a minute or so, minute to a couple minutes on what you're up to. And we got artists and musicians on the show, so make sure you share where they can find y'all's work, and I'll make sure we get it on the screen and all that sort of thing. Let folks know what you're up to. So go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Joe. I'm very happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're happy
Yes.
to be here.
My name is Sheri Hope, and I'm a local artist. I live in the Woodlands, Texas. I can be found at Sheri Hope Art on social media and at sherihope.com. I can also be found at the market at Sawyer Yards and First Saturday Arts Market in the Heights. But I call myself an unconventional artist. I paint on any surface with any object except a brush. I don't really particularly like brushes. They expect perfection, and I'm not perfect. But I paint with screws a lot, and I like to leave the screw within the painting. And to me, that represents leaving the past behind. I feel like the screw belongs within the painting.
I've always wanted to leave my paintbrush.
Yes, I've done that. I tried a brush.
Least,
Yes. I tried a brush and I didn't like it, so I just left it there.
Yeah. I'll teach you some brush techniques.
Yes, but I'll paint on canvas. I'll paint on
I'm learning
wood.
myself.
I'll paint. I know. I love you, Chris.
Her booth is amazing at Sawyer Yards. It's a lot of fun. I've been there several times.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you. I put a lot of work into it because, go big or go home, right? But yeah, I paint leather items as well. I paint phone cases.
And shoes.
Leather boots and items and clothing, obviously. But yes, and so I'm going on a Hugs Heal campaign. I just wanted to say this real quick. 20-second hugs can save a life or change a day. And it's an opportunity to connect and to heal our hearts a little bit. So hug someone for 20 seconds today, and you might save a life.
Just make sure you get permission.
Yeah, that would be a good deal. Yes, that's important.
Now, the 20-second hug from somebody that didn't know
you were engaging in about a 20-second hug?
Could be awkward.
Yes. You know, it's a long time, 20 seconds, and so...
Unhand me, sir!
Yes.
This is good with people that want me in the room for 20 seconds.
I painted on a lot of surfaces when I was a kid. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't do it anymore.
Brick walls.
No.
Yeah.
How many sweet you could get for it?
That lasted for,
that?
1 or 2, works.
Desks.
Sharpie.
Yeah, until it was correctively, measured out of me. That was another subject. We were going to talk about spanking. That one didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
Well, I let my kids paint on their walls in their bedrooms,
Cool.
when they were small, because, it's
Why not?
their space, right? Like, make it yours.
I wouldn't mind walls as much as I did the furniture. My son had a penchant for furniture.
I covered my walls in my bedroom in canvas.
Oh,
The whole thing, ceiling to floor.
You know what I think would be cool with those big, like, giant Post-it notes? The thing, like, it's, you know what I'm talking about? It's a big sheet of paper, you just tear off.
Sure.
Just stick one of those on the wall and just go to town. You know, have fun with it.
Absolutely.
Just cover the wall.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Do they still have that show? Where you go in, it's like a Donald Trump show, where you go in and you get the people invention.
The Shark Tank thing?
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have giant Post-it notes, do they?
Oh, yeah.
They do?
Oh, yeah, they're awesome.
Really?
Oh, yeah, they're
Nice.
Yeah.
I need that.
But you need to make them like canvas.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Be heavier, it'd be hard.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another show.
Yeah.
Miguel,
Shark Tank. Shark Tank, Chris.
if only there was a show where you could go on and present ideas for business with like famous people who are rich. I just think of this stuff on the fly, people. It's just like creative like that.
Oh, yeah. Miguel, I gotta hear why you're here, but
Please jump in.
help us.
All right, well,
The boat is sinking.
hi. My name is Miguel Lopez. I'm a local musician. I play cover shows here and there. I play some originals. I have some original music, and
Well, we're gonna get to hear some later.
yes.
All right.
Yes, and yeah, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/MiggyTunes. And,
Miggy Tunes. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's an old nickname, so I kind of just like Miguel Lopez music was probably.
It's on the screen, people.
It's
Right.
very helpful. It's
Make
very
sure,
helpful.
you hop
Miguel
over
Lopez
there.
music might be confused for like a Tejano station or something,
Oh,
but
okay,
yeah. Just kidding.
It does have a connotation to it.
Anyways,
I like to refer to my stuff as Swedish Tejano rap.
We had a Tejano rapper.
The Swedish Tejano rapper.
Where else can we
I don't know,
find
I'm
it?
sorry.
Are you playing?
Miggy Tunes on YouTube. It's on the
Yes.
screen. We've got it on the
YouTube,
screen.
and it's the same for Facebook as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are
Very
you
cool.
playing anytime soon? Events?
South Shore Harbor Resort, but that's in January. So,
Okay.
Yeah. As
Cool,
far as
cool.
anytime soon, it's probably within the next hour or so.
It's cold. It's cold out right now.
Yeah.
Deal.
All right. Dee.
Hey, I'm Dee Franklin. I'm with Fable Collages. I'm also with End Art, which is
45 and art, right?
45 Art with Chris Minamyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will be showing tomorrow at Insomnia Gallery. We were rained out the other night. It is with the children's story. They have books there for sale, and also all the artwork is based upon art from famous children's stories.
Oh, cool.
Mine is Watership Down. I'll also be in Insomnia show for the cheap show, which is like $20 and under.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I love that one. And then Hardy and Nance's is their like $100 and under show for
10 by
the
10 in January.
Yeah, the 10 by 10 100, but they're also doing a Christmas show.
Oh yeah,
which
Christmas show.
is all under $100 too, where I have some 3D print art coming up.
Oh, fun.
So some
I have 3D print art from you.
yeah, his horns for Halloween, where he becomes Satan.
Halloween.
Well, he's always Satan. But I have my cupcakes for sale and some popsicle art. So come and see me at those shows, and like always, I'm with Creepy Hollow, and we will be catching you every week on the Relic Live show.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
I haven't heard about the last one.
All right. Well, this is the part of the show.
Do you suffer from chronic back pain? There is a solution to the suffering. The Body Mechanics, an orthopedic and medical massage focused practice that specializes in helping clients work through and overcome musculoskeletal injuries and chronic pain. By applying our science-based concepts through the art of massage therapy techniques, we can help you eliminate that pain. At The Body Mechanics, we take it as our responsibility to provide our clients with the highest level of care. We take time to get to know you, your history, and your obstacles, and most importantly, your wellness goals. We help you meet your goals through skillfully applied advanced massage therapy techniques and recommending self-care routines to improve overall well-being. Come in today and let The Body Mechanics apply our years of training and expertise to soothe away your aches. Mention this ad and receive our functional movement assessment for free, a $35 savings.
This is the part of the show where we're going to give you guys the opportunity to just kind of share your thoughts on the subject a little bit. Again, kind of a 1 to 2 minute kind of a bullet point thought on the subject. Can anyone of any color be racist? Black, white, Hispanic, or otherwise, can they be racist? Some people argue that a person of color can't be racist. Some people argue that all people can be racist. What's your take and why?
Absolutely. I think anyone can be racist. I think that we feel like ours is superior, a lot of times. Like people, I am so stuck. I am so sorry.
Okay. The cameras are on now.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay.
I feel like
Take your time.
I feel like there's a lot of stereotyping, and I feel like stereotypes are typically true. And they're stereotypes for a reason. They're not always true. They're not always the case. They're not always a fact. They're never a fact, but it's something that we can generalize about people. I don't think that makes it good or bad. I think that's just that Italians make great pasta, but anyway,
Italy.
yeah. I think that, but I do believe that anyone can be racist, and I think it can go economically. I think, race of people, it can go gender, it can go religion, it can go many different ways.
All right. Miguel?
Can anyone be racist, right? Yes, of course. I mean, if you come from a specific genetic background and you believe that your genetics are superior and others are superior or inferior to yours, then that's pretty racist. I would assume. I've worked jobs and I've worked, with people that were of different races from each other, and hear one person of a certain race refer to others as crackers, and I've heard people that were of a certain race refer to others as as colored, and it's sad because I'm a Hispanic person. People don't really, but I have lighter skin. People don't really pick up on whether if I'm Hispanic or not. A lot of times it might start saying things in front of me that they think is acceptable, you know, because I'm part of their group. And I've seen it firsthand. People say things that would have been very offensive, and you know, I'm just like taken back. I'm just like, I can't believe I'm hearing this in this day and age. And
still very prevalent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still very real. And I think as far as a nation, or as far as, you know, in the world, the thing that we're probably getting wrong, and what we see in media, you know, is, you know, those that want to pretend and turn a blind eye to things that are very real. That's still going on, and then we just don't want to be honest with ourselves and be like, you know what, this is something that is happening, and it is not good for us as humanity. So it's I mean, I grew up, you know, I mean, believe it or not, that there are Hispanics that don't like black people. I mean, and that's,
very much.
You know, that refer them to them, you know, as the N-word. That there are Hispanics that are lighter skin, if you go to Mexico, that don't like Hispanics of darker skin, that they have their nicknames and their degrading words for people of, you know, darker skin within the same race. You know, so that's if you want to call that racism.
Like colorist?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
What do you call it?
Shadist.
well, it's prejudice, definitely.
Definitely
you know,
prejudice,
definitely
right?
prejudice.
Yeah, to generalize.
So,
for sure.
I'm a shadist.
So I mean, is that right? You know, I mean, no, of course not. I mean, we've come to a place, you know, culturally where we're realizing that this is wrong, and if we want to move forward, and if we want to live in a world that's better for our children and our grandchildren, we need to acknowledge this and really deal with it. And
Acknowledge that any race can be racist.
Yes, that any races can be racist, and that we need to come together and have just serious conversations, and to be very real with each other, and also be very gracious towards one another, I think. So.
And open, I might add. Open to different cultures.
Yeah.
And to different ideas, for sure.
Well said.
Dee, how do you feel?
I
Can any
think
race be racist?
yes, but I think we also use the terms wrong. I think we have racism, bigotism, and prejudice, and we use the term racist way too much in our society. And what we may be hearing is, like you just used the term colorist.
Yeah, shadist. Yeah,
Shadist.
yeah.
And we said it jokingly, but that's not even a joke, because
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Is it
It's
really?
like,
Yeah, it is.
It's not just
It is.
it's not just prejudice.
No.
Like
Just
you
look
said,
at Disney.
because I like really what you said.
Disney is
All of their villains are darker.
no, and
Oh,
it's like,
gross!
Remember
What
Shere
the
Khan?
heck? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the dark is already, you know, black.
They
you know,
were
come
saying
on
about
now, Sam.
Veggie Tales
Right.
this week is racist, and
Really?
we'll go into that.
Which one? Say it again.
Veggie Tales. It was in the news
Please,
this
no.
week.
That's a Christian group, right? Isn't
It
Veggie
is
Tales
a
like
Christian
thing?
group,
Yeah.
and I'll bring it up later.
Got vegetables, and we're making the vegetables racist.
Vegetable.
Yes, the Veggie Tales are racist this week,
hate
and
celery.
I will bring it up.
Parents are better, you know.
And I'll explain why later. I didn't bring it up in the.
I don't doubt it at
I
all.
wanted to
I mean,
bog you with this
what's the
one.
song? Baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah.
Right. There's a big hubbub about this song now because of the Me Too movement.
Rape
Yeah.
culture.
It's
Yeah.
like date rape. You know, she's like. He's forcing himself on her.
badgering her.
Yeah, you know,
It's like,
Oh
no,
my
people, you
gosh.
don't understand the history of the song.
and she has a line about what's in my drink, and I'm
They're
like,
thinking
they didn't have roofies in '44, you morons! Come on!
And the
Oh,
joke
for the love
is,
of God!
it's not even an alcoholic drink. She's giving herself permission to have sex, people.
I mean, it's just we're in a new place of
it's
ridiculousness.
actually
Baby, it's cold outside.
maybe it's cold and I want to get laid.
and it was at a point in time, you know, a friend of mine posted about it today.
Yeah,
I got so
I
wrapped
did
up.
too.
It's like there was a point in time where the man had to pursue the woman, and the woman
Had to say no.
Had to say no, and there was that dance, and the person said there was a courtship, and
Yeah.
and they came from the place of. It's like now you go straight from hey to hook up, and it's in every freaking song on the radio, and you have no problem with that, but you're flipping out about a song from 1944 where they're playing this dance of being hard to get. I'm like, yeah. So shadist is a thing. I mean, there are people that are darker, black people who get picked on by lighter skinned black people.
Oh, wow.
And then people are saying, when you tan, you're culturally appropriating the look, and
how are you racist against your own race?
Right. Well, that's
are you racially
It's definitely a prejudice.
prejudiced, or is that bigotry, and how are we responding? And then you go, okay, you're Hispanic, well, I'm Jewish. And I've had someone recently say online, is saying I was being intellectually Jewish, but this was a crazy person that decided that all Jews are in charge of the universe, basically.
Oh, like a Zionist, anti-Zionist type person?
Yeah. And I kind of went, okay, where's my money, please?
Right.
But at the same time,
all Jews are rich. Where's my money?
Where's my money, dear Lord? I'm, a starving artist.
I found out I was Jewish this year, and I feel like I'm owed some money. Reparations. That's right. I denied my money.
I honestly have
Somebody better give me a bank or there's going to be trouble.
I honestly do have family members on the concentration camp rolls. So I
don't know if I do or not.
Yeah.
I'm adopted.
Yeah.
We do actually got to close out the segment, though, so I'll let Joe go ahead and close us out.
Yeah, so we got to take a commercial break. We have sponsors. We got to give them their prime time spot on the show. So, you guys stick around. But when we come back, I have a question about racism and dealing with specifically getting into power structures.
We should have a group comment, or a comment from the group.
We should have some comments from the groups on this. So when I come back, I want to ask you guys about racism and power structures and how that plays into racism. But we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. We're rocking it out here. Had a great conversation going on during the breaks. Everybody's refilling their glasses. It's hard to get people to be quiet when we've been drinking and refilling drinks after the break. It's like, it's herding cats.
Every show's different.
Right, it's like herding cats, which is always a great time to give a shout out to our sponsor, the Grain Cellar.
Thank you.
Yeah, Preston out there at the Grain Cellar. Thank you for providing the awesome booze for the show. I probably offended somebody. You can't say booze. It has to be alcohol or something.
Booze.
Probably some. Yeah. That was awesome. That was really good. That's totally a dad joke right there. I love that. I love that.
Dang it. Something into the dad joke.
Yes. Yeah. So the Grain Cellar is all things fermented. If you want to learn how to brew your own beer, make your own wine, that dude is the bomb. He knows everything about it. He makes some pretty freaking awesome beer too, I gotta say, man. I've had and wine. I've had both, and some really, really tasty stuff. So major impressed. So make sure you guys pop over there, check it out if you ever wanted to learn how to make your own beer, wine, and cheese too. He does cheese. So anyway, shout out to him. All right. So before the break, we were talking about racism and can anybody of any color be racist? And, our panelists have mostly the same views on this. So I want to start kind of, rooting around a little bit into the subject a little deeper and start posing some questions. And I remember this comment. We had this discussion in the group page, and Chris has the comment from Shannon Neely.
Yes.
And
I'll read it
she
whenever
had
you're ready.
chimed in with this comment. So Shannon Neely, thank you for chiming in.
Appreciate
We're going to
that.
have her comment up on the screen so everybody can see it. But Chris, go ahead and read it.
Yeah, Shannon Neely comes on to say, one cannot be racist without the power to oppress. That is the reigning factor of racism, being racist. One can be prejudiced, biased, or discriminating because that doesn't require the power to oppress. So essentially what you're saying is you can't be racist if you're a bigger white, right?
No, she's saying you can only be racist if you're white.
Well, okay, yes.
Right.
I have it backwards.
Right, and not a minority, because only white in America, at least in America, and that's the context of her statement, in America, white people run everything.
So
You know,
in
and
India,
they're
the Indian people cannot be racist in the same effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. In India, Indian people couldn't be racist.
Even towards white people.
Right.
Because I think we're the majority over the world, right?
Only Indian people could be racist in India.
Okay, right.
Right? Not
yes.
the other way around.
That's
If I
tricky.
was
That's
a
tricky.
white person living in India, I couldn't be racist,
Okay.
right? Because I have no power in India, right?
Okay.
So that's the argument being made. It's actually an argument that's presented in college quite a bit now, that's being taught to our children, that without a system to oppress, you can't be racist. So how do you guys feel about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, well then you have to look in a city like New York and look at what's being done to the Orthodox Jews within New York. Are they then a separate white culture within the city?
Good point.
Because they are considered white unless you're anti-Semitic. And they are being beaten by Arabics right now, or have been within the past couple weeks. Would you then consider that to be a racist act? Well, at the same time, they have not been charged, and there have been white beatings also of these people.
Is that the
That-
only, is Judaism, I'm sorry, Jewish, is that the only religion that is also a race?
No, it's not.
No,
Jewish and
not
Jewish?
even
Well,
close.
It's the Hebrew race, correct?
Yeah, but you could also argue that would be for Indian Asian. You could argue that for Confucianism, Sikh. You could argue
But no,
that
but no
for
other, but no other one is
Muslim.
called.
Well,
the
Sikh is a
Jewish
race.
is a race.
You
but
could add-
the Zeke is a race as well.
No, I was saying, I don't think Sikh is a race.
No, but they get confused a lot of times as Muslim
Yeah.
and beaten because people confuse them.
Yeah, that's the
as-
crazy thing, is that people
They're
see
Christian, the turban.
and they think Muslim, which has nothing to do with
which
being
they are
Muslim.
Christian,
They're
and
very
there
pro-American
is
as
a
well.
very and they're pro-American, and they also, if you know anything about their culture, you can identify very easily
have a lot
their
of questions.
turban.
Racists aren't really known for being the smartest in the bunch. So I'm
Right,
just, you
but
know.
their turbans are very, very different than the turbans of a Muslim to begin with. It's very easily differentiated. But do we then classify because, and within their own community, in the Orthodox Jews, they are at the pinnacle of power. They are not oppressed at all within their community. They rule supreme, from the power in the police, power in the restaurants, power in the banks, power
Sounds
in
like
the
a mafia.
well, I'm Jewish, so I'm not going to argue that one. But within their own enclaves, yes.
I mean, I don't know anything about the subject, and that's, I mean, just describing it
So
like
can we,
So-
you know,
So what do you guys think? What do you two think? Is because in America, you know, Caucasian people represent 60% of the population, right? So just by sheer numbers, there's going to be more white people in power. There's going to be more white police. There's going to be more white everything. There's going to be at least 60% on average, in pick a category. And so, to Shannon's point, is it impossible for a person to be racist when they have no means to do anything with that belief system? If you're not running the show, so to speak, and you can't implement policy or, you know, whatever, you know, does that then demean or take away from their ability to be racist?
I don't think so. I think that you could, it's about the power to make that person feel inferior. Does that make
From
sense?
an individual standpoint.
Like
it doesn't have to be a broad.
Does it have to be something that they're going to gain or something but it's just that imposing that feeling on that person.
So to Shannon's point, that's kind of what she's saying. She's saying, look, if it's just one-on-one, let's say I'm just a goofball that lives in a small little town and you know, 300 people, and I hate all Swedish people. Can't stand them.
I love this huge Swedish. Go ahead.
See, I don't understand this because I love all people.
Well, yeah.
Yes, I have a very hard time with this
It's
topic.
a really tough topic
Yes.
for me because I think it's completely stupid and I don't understand it. I don't get it at all.
I really do see the argument because, I mean, if you can't affect someone's life in the long term with
Right.
racism, is it racism?
I'm living in my little town of 300 people. I hate all Swedish people. What am I gonna do? I might not even see a Swedish person
Ever in your lifetime.
Ever in my lifetime, but I can't
Is that
stand
racism
them.
though? At that
Right.
point, is it?
So am I racist if I have no means of implementing a policy or a law or doing anything
Or are you a bigot?
that would
But
ever
our world
impact them?
isn't static anymore. Isn't that 300 people? We have the internet now, which does not stop us our influence to 300 people. They're now saying that the migrant caravan, and I'm using that term correctly, was influenced by one Instagram, period. Okay? And I'm
Really?
not...
I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, this is a new thing that they're saying that there was one big
Was
Instagram...
it the president
No.
of another country?
No, I was
I'm not saying ours. Like, he uses Twitter, obviously.
Yeah, but, yeah, ours. No, but they're saying that there was one big Instagram account that went out.
Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, located in the midst of bustling Midtown in Houston. You'll find a laid-back atmosphere and an ambiance reminiscent of the comfort of your own living room, coupled with the flair, pizzazz, and glitz of live New York-style cabaret entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's is not only the ideal restaurant with a great long-standing wine selection, but also with a full bar as well. Phil and Derek's stock and knowledge of wines from France, Spain, Argentina, and more, just to name a few, are the envy of wine connoisseurs far and wide. Phil and Derek's Sunday Brunch was voted best morning after brunch for 3 consecutive years. Come indulge in the ample buffet of omelets, meats, various salads, $3 mimosa carafes, and much, much more. Enjoy delicious foods from the kitchen until midnight. We're equipped with large dining areas, ideal for groups up to 20 in size, whether business or pleasure. Come see all that Phil and Derek's has to offer.
Account that went out that said we are joining at such and such a point, and they're trying now to trace who sponsored this account.
Oh yeah, somebody had power.
All these
I want to hear
people
about his...
Yeah.
are
Yeah, we didn't
poor and
hear from
need
Miguel
help,
yet.
but they got Instagram.
Right. So again, no, but other people do, and bars do, and restaurants do, and where people collectively gather do. So it's
Talk about
not
in the public domain then.
in the public domain do. People that gather, we all have at some point access to multi-social media. So it's no longer that town of 300,
Because McDonald's is there and they have internet.
basically. Everybody,
So
even
your
if you're
position
on
is
welfare, you have access and you are given
to Shannon's point.
to a cell phone.
To Shannon's point, for each of you guys, I want each of you to chime in on this.
I
To
really wanna
Shannon's
hear-
point, right? That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
I wanna hear
I
your
want
point.
each of you guys to chime in on this. She's saying you have to have a system of power, a system to oppress, the ability to make laws, to do something that impacts that person's life in order to be a racist. Yes or no? Is she right?
On an individual basis, I think she's wrong. Because I mean, you don't have a lot of power as far as like
you know
you're,
of.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Sorry, he's got 5,000
am I? Yeah. Oh, damn. No, it's just it's just like on an individual basis, we have to take ownership of our own bullshit. You know.
Hey, man, thank you for that.
Well, it's very. I mean, it's very true. It's just like it's.
That's a clickable moment.
I mean,
We haven't had one in a while. Yeah, that's a clickable moment. You got to take ownership of your own bullshit. Yes, I agree.
I take ownership of things that I've said in the past. You know, as a Hispanic, as an American, as whatever.
As a
you know,
person.
as
I've had to
as a
retract
person,
some things myself.
I
No
take
kidding.
ownership of that, and I acknowledge that I'm wrong. You know.
That's what the show's about.
So
I mean, a little bit. It's
So
about-
and I know that's over the past 37 years that I've been alive. I've taken positions, and I've gone in certain directions as far as choices and as far as ideologies are concerned that I do not identify with today.
Sure.
And it's
evolving.
Yes,
That's,
it's
being
evolving. It's
human.
changing. It's it's consistently changing, and then being presented with new ideas and new facts or whatever it may be, and then saying that this does not align with what I believe before. I either have to change what I believe, or I have to turn a blind eye to it and just choose to be ignorant. And
Seek truth.
yeah, it's just that's what's true for all of us, no matter what our skin color is and what our ethnic background is. If you're going to pretend like you don't have some kind of prejudice or some kind of racism or within yourself, you're being dishonest with yourself and you're just trying to pass the buck. And
I love what you're saying, and bring it back to the stereotyping, and how stereotypes are everywhere, and it's almost the same. To me, I feel like stereotyping is doing the same, but you had said that they're almost always true, and that blows my mind. I would love going deep on it, but I want to let you keep talking. Go ahead. That's kind of all
I mean, if we're trying to go back to what she's saying, and I mean, I totally sympathize with the idea, or just the fact that our country as a whole is, Hispanics and blacks and Indians, we're in a minority, and Caucasians are have the power, in the political realm, but
I'd like to see the statistics of who has power inside races, right? Like, so we have had Mexican governors and
Oh, of course.
yeah, and then if we keep breaking it down to
Hispanic,
certain cities,
Yeah.
if you go to South Texas right now and hang out in McAllen for a little bit, if you're not Hispanic, you're going to be a minority.
Well, I mean,
You're a minority.
Houston is predicted by 2025 to be Hispanic majority.
Yeah.
and it's
So,
so we're Mexico.
By 2025.
couple of hundred years
By
ago.
2025, Houston is
Look at my
supposed
watch.
to be Hispanic majority.
Yeah.
So I can't wait because I want to start filing for all sorts of stuff. So
Really?
you can't
You can't edit that out.
That's them. All right, so I got a question for you guys. We're gonna take it home with this one, but we've only got a few minutes on this. So I just thought it was a really interesting point, and because we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the show with the whole color of the skin and racism within their own race groups, right? Bigotry within their own race groups. And Emily posted this in the group. She said, 2 reasons the white race is more about class than race. She said, lighter skin, and I'm only going to read the first reason here. Lighter skin has been associated with upper class management, while darker skin with lower class manual labor and field hands. This is independent of race. Class perception by skin color is experienced among Asian, Latino, Black, etc. Right? So if you think about it, just historically, who's doing what job where, right? If you're inside and working, you've got the cushier upper end job.
And probably lighter skin.
Right? Exactly. And if you're outside working the field, whatever else, you're lower class and working the labor job, right? And that's regardless of race, but just being outside.
An economical thing.
White guy versus white guy, the white guy out in the field is going to be a lot darker than the white guy inside.
You seen a white Cajun guy? They look, I mean, geez, I worked with them for 5 years. Like, sometimes I couldn't tell what race they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they're Cajun.
Nor understand.
Like, to me,
no understand the word they were saying, so you couldn't even discern that. Yeah.
But technically they're white, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but even some races and ethnic groups had predominant jobs based upon their race. There was famous Indian tribes, Native American tribes that had jobs in New York City doing the high rises, and that's because their tribes were very proud of, they were the skywalkers, the ones building the high rises. No one else did that job but them. It wasn't because of their skin color, it was because their skill set. And that goes back to, some of it's not because of racism, it's because of a skill set. It's like
Things
the
that they're
women
Within the culture.
well,
right
that goes back to the
now,
muscle fiber that we were talking about earlier.
the women
Right.
right now that
We literally have like a minute and a half.
I know.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
trying to bring it on. Just
Sorry,
reference it.
the women right now that come from Guatemala that do the picking for the oysters that didn't get their green cards this year. They have been trained for generations. We lost out on them this year because they couldn't get their green cards. That's their jobs.
And they're good at it too.
And like closing thought, but I want to leave this comment for the group and for you guys to ponder and maybe talk about after we shut off the cameras. Is all racism bad? Simply because you have an opinion of a superior trait in a race.
Genetically, though.
Genetic superiority, whatever.
There are some
right?
genetic
Cultural,
facts, though.
right?
There are genetic
There are
facts.
genetic facts. I mentioned this. We were talking off air before the show. It's a genetic fact that African American people have more fast twitch muscle fiber than Caucasian people, which is a right. That's a hard phrase to say. Fast twitch muscle fiber. So that results in more African American people in sports that require fast twitch muscle fiber, any muscular reaction speed, right? So it's a genetic fact, right? There's a greater propensity for larger hearts, which translates to oxygenation of the blood, which translates to better swimming skills in Caucasian people, right? So Michael Phelps, right? So is it being racist to have those people, to say that just because the race is indicative of that based on genetics? Is that a negative? That's something to talk about in the group, but we got to get to some mad musical performances. That's got to happen right now. So, without further ado, Miguel, let us know what you're playing and where we can find it.
Hello, my name is Miguel Lopez. I'm here to sing a song for you. It's called Horizon. I wrote it a number of years ago, and if you want to look me up, it's on youtube.com /MiggyTunes, MIGGYTUNES. All right, thank you. They say you live and learn, so then I've learned too much. I need a break, but the world just turns it, never seems to give it up. I'm One man who wants to leave his mark, walk in the path of the pure in heart. The narrow road, oh, it leaves its scars, but I won't give up. I've come this far. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. Mountain high, valley low, keep my eye on the prize. Behold, if I fight just a little more, I receive my great reward. The joy is set before me makes my present sufferings not seem so bad. You see the glory of my eternal King. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. I look over the horizon and I see the light, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
Yes! Killed it, bro. Yeah. Another insanely talented musician on the show. I mean, like, where do we find these people? It's almost like Houston is just overrun with crazy mad talent. Way to go, bro. It is. Hey, another awesome song you guys have to look for. He gave his shout outs. We're also going to have it on the Art of Dispute YouTube channel as a own solo kind of thing, so make sure you hop over there. Find us on that page, subscribe, follow, etc. And we will be back next week with another hot topic and more mad talent.